You just landed in America, your bags are packed, your heart is full of hope, and you are ready to start your new life. But here is the truth nobody told you before you got on that plane. If you do not do these 3 financial steps in your first week, you will be left behind. You will pay more money, face more rejections, and waste months trying to fix problems that could have been avoided on day 1. So stay with me, because this video could literally save you thousands of dollars and years of frustration. I am going to walk you through the exact 3 steps every immigrant and international student must take immediately after arriving in the USA. And I promise, by the end of this video, you will know more about the American financial system than most people who have lived here for years. Let's start right now. The first thing you need to understand is this. America runs on 2 invisible systems. One is your bank account. The other is your credit score. If you do not have both set up correctly from day 1, you will feel like a ghost in this country. You can have $10,000 in your pocket and still get rejected for an apartment, a phone plan, or even a job. That is how powerful these 2 systems are. So let us fix this together, step by step. Step 1. Open a bank account. And I want you to do this on day 1 if possible. Not tomorrow, not next week, day 1. Now here is the first thing most immigrants get completely wrong. They go online, they try to open a bank account from their phone or laptop, they fill out the form, and then, rejected. The system says no. And they think, okay, banks in America do not accept immigrants. That is not true at all. The real reason they got rejected is simple. The online banking system automatically asks for a social security number, which is called an SSN. If you just arrived, you probably do not have one yet, and the online system cannot process your application without it, so it just says no. But here is what the bank will never tell you on that rejection screen. You can walk into a physical branch with your passport, and they will open the account for you the same day. This is one of the most important things I want you to remember from this entire video. Do not apply online. Go to the branch in person. Now, which banks will actually open an account for you without an SSN? Banks like Bank of America, Chase, PNC, and Wells Fargo all allow this, but only when you go in person. Bank of America, for example, will accept your foreign tax identification number from your home country. They do not require a U.S. Social Security number at all. They just need 2 forms of identification, which means your passport is your best friend here. So here is exactly what you bring to the branch. Your passport. That is your primary ID. Bring something as a second form of ID. It could be your visa, your national ID card from your home country, or your driver's license. Bring proof of your address. If you do not have a U.S. address yet, some banks will accept your home country address. And that is it. Call the branch ahead of time, explain that you are a new immigrant without an SSN, and confirm what they need. Then walk in and open your account. Now, if you do not want to go to a branch, or if you just want something open today from your phone, I completely understand. In that case, go with a neobank. That is a digital-only bank. Apps like Chime, Varo, and SoFi. These apps only need your passport to open. No SSN, no ITIN, no banking history check. Your account is open within minutes. And the best part? They charge 0 monthly fees, 0 overdraft fees, 0 ATM fees, and 0 international transaction fees. Compare that to some traditional banks that will hit you with $12 to $25 every single month just for keeping an account. Let me tell you about something most newcomers have never heard of, and it is called check systems. Imagine it like a background check, but for your banking history instead of your criminal record. Over 80% of U.S. banks and credit unions run a check systems check before they open an account for you. If you ever had a bad banking history anywhere, overdrafts you did not pay, a closed account, it shows up here and you get rejected. The record stays for up to 5 years. Now here is the sneaky part. Even if you have never had a U.S. bank account, there is a small chance that a linked international bank or even a simple data error could flag your name. If this happens to you, do not panic. Banks like Chime, Varo, and Capital One 360 do not use check systems at all. Go with them. Problem solved. One more hidden trap I want to warn you about: overdraft fees. Imagine you have $50 in your account and you spend $60. Maybe you forgot. Maybe you did not check the balance. Some traditional banks will let that transaction go through and then charge you up to $35 as an overdraft fee for one purchase, and it can happen multiple times in one day. This is one of the biggest ways banks make money from people who are new and not paying attention. The fix is simple. Use a bank that blocks the transaction instead of approving it and charging you. Chime and Varo both do this automatically. And if you use a traditional bank, call them and ask to disable overdraft protection. That sounds counterintuitive, but disabling it means they will just decline your card instead of charging you $35. So to summarize, step 1, Download Chime or Varo today for your immediate needs. If you want a traditional bank account, call the local branch first, then walk in with your passport and secondary ID. Do not apply online. And choose a bank with 0 monthly fees so you are not wasting money from day one. Step 2. Apply for your ITIN. And I need you to understand why this is so important before I explain what it is. In America, there is a number that acts as your identity in the financial world. For citizens and many workers, this is the Social Security number, the SSN. But if you are a new immigrant, a student on an F1 or J1 visa, or someone who is not yet eligible for an SSN, you need what is called an ITIN, which stands for Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. This is a 9-digit number issued by the IRS, the U.S. tax authority. Think of the ITIN as your financial passport inside America. Without it, you cannot apply for most credit cards. You cannot build your credit history. You cannot open certain bank accounts. You cannot file taxes. The ITIN unlocks all of this. Here is how you get one. You fill out a form called the W-7. You can find it on the IRS website, irs.gov, for free. You attach your passport as proof of identity, and then you either mail everything to the IRS office in Austin, Texas, or you walk into an IRS acceptance agent office near you and hand it in directly. There are also certified acceptance agents, accountants and financial advisors, who can submit this on your behalf and make the process much easier. The processing time is typically 7 to 11 weeks. I know that sounds long, but here is the strategy. Start this application in your very first week, so that by the time 2 to 3 months have passed, your ITIN is in your hands, and you are ready for step 3. One very important thing about the ITIN, it is not a work permit. It does not give you permission to work in the U.S. It is only for tax and financial purposes. But for building your financial life here, it is everything. Step 3. Get your first secured credit card and start building your credit score. This is where most immigrants wait too long and suffer the consequences for years. Let me first explain what a credit score actually is in very simple terms. Your credit score is a number between 300 and 850. The higher it is, the more trustworthy you look to banks, landlords, and lenders. When you first arrive in America, your score is not 0. It literally does not exist. You are what the system calls credit invisible, and that invisibility causes real problems. You might need to pay 2 or 3 months' rent as a deposit instead of 1 because the landlord cannot check your credit. A car loan might cost you 15 to 25% interest instead of 5 to 8%. A phone company might ask you for a large upfront deposit. Your job background check might come back flagged as unknown. All of this just because you have no credit history. Now here is something extremely important, and I cannot stress this enough. Your credit history from your home country does not transfer here. You could have had perfect credit in your home country for 20 years, and the American system will not see any of it. You start completely fresh. No credit is not the same as bad credit, but it does mean you are invisible, and you need to become visible as fast as possible. The fastest and safest way to do this is through a secured credit card. Here is how it works. You go to a bank or financial company, and you make a deposit, let's say $200. That $200 becomes your credit limit. You use the card for small everyday purchases, maybe your groceries, your phone bill, a streaming service. Then at the end of the month, you pay it back in full. The bank then reports your on-time payment to the 3 major credit bureaus in America, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and those bureaus start building your credit file. After just 1 to 2 billing cycles of on-time payments, your activity is being reported. After 3 to 6 months, you will have your first real credit score. Under the newer scoring model called Vantage Score 4.0, you might get your first score even sooner, sometimes after just 1 month of activity. Now, which secured cards should you actually get? If you have an ITN but no SSN, here are your best options. First card accepts your ITN, your passport, or even just your visa. No hard credit check. No SSN required. It reports to all 3 major credit bureaus, which is exactly what you want. Capital One Platinum Secured is another great option. You can start with as little as $49 deposit and get a $200 credit line. Citi Secured MasterCard also accepts ITINs. And Discover It Secured is excellent because it gives you cashback rewards while you build credit, so you are earning while you learn. Now once you have the card, I want you to follow 3 golden rules. Rule 1. Always pay your full balance before the due date. Never miss a payment. Payment history is 35% of your credit score. It is the single biggest factor. 1 missed payment can hurt you badly. Rule 2. Never use more than 30% of your credit limit. If your limit is $200, never carry more than $60 in charges. This is called your credit utilization ratio, and it makes up 30% of your score. Rule 3. Do not apply for multiple credit cards at the same time. Every application creates a hard inquiry on your file, which temporarily lowers your score. Start with one card, be responsible for 6 months, then consider adding a second. Now here is something brand new that most people do not know about yet, and this is a game changer specifically for immigrants. In July 2025, the Federal Housing Finance Agency approved a new credit scoring model called VantageScore 4.0 for mortgage lending. What makes this incredible is that VantageScore 4.0 now counts your rent payments and your utility bill payments toward your credit score. So every month you pay your rent on time, it can now actually build your credit, as long as you are using a rent reporting service. Apps like Experian Boost, Self, Boom, and Rental Karma will take your rent payments and report them directly to the credit bureaus. If you are already paying rent every month, and of course you are, you might as well get credit for it. This is one of the fastest ways to build your score without needing a credit card at all. And if you are from India, Mexico, Canada, Australia, UK, Brazil, the Dominican Republic, Kenya, Nigeria, the Philippines, or South Korea, I have an incredible shortcut for you. There is a service called NovaCredit that can take your credit history from your home country and translate it into a US equivalent score. American Express actually partners with NovaCredit. So if your home country is on that list, you may be able to apply for an American Express credit card right away and skip the long waiting period entirely. Now let me share one final warning that could save you from a serious financial mistake down the road. If you build your credit history using your ITIN, and then later you receive your SSN, which happens when you get a work permit or a green card, your credit history does not automatically move over. The system will create a brand new blank file under your SSN, and all your hard work building credit under your ITIN could be lost. You must manually contact all 3 credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, in writing, and ask them to merge your ITIN credit history with your new SSN. Include copies of both your ITIN and your new Social Security card. Do this as soon as you receive your SSN. Do not wait. Many immigrants have lost years of credit history simply because they did not know this step existed. So let me bring everything together for you, because this is what your first week in America should look like financially. On day 1, download Chime or Varo and open your bank account in minutes. If you want a traditional bank, call a branch near you and go in person with your passport. Do not apply online. In your first week, fill out IRS Form W-7 and submit your ITIN application. This takes 7 to 11 weeks to process, so the sooner you start, the better. Once your ITIN arrives, apply for a secured credit card. Use it for small purchases. Pay it in full every month. Keep your usage under 30% of your limit. Sign up for a rent reporting service so your monthly rent payments also count toward your score. If you do these 3 things, within 12 months you could have a credit score above 670. Within 24 months, many immigrants reach above 700, and with a 700 score, your entire life in America changes. Better apartments, better loan rates, better opportunities, all of it becomes easier and cheaper. America rewards the people who understand its financial system. Now you understand it. The only question is, are you going to take action today? If this video helped you, please share it with someone who just moved to the USA. They need to see this before they make an expensive mistake. Subscribe to this channel because every week we break down the financial system for immigrants and students in simple, real, honest language. And drop a comment below. Tell me what country you moved from and what your biggest financial question is right now. I read every single one. See you in the next video.